Star Wars Jedi Survivor looks absolutely gorgeous, and it's one of the biggest games of the year, but when it comes to the spring season, it is arguably the game to look out for. It is the game to be excited for. Now, of course, we have a big release this week in particular with Resident Evil 4, but outside of that, there are some big games. But we're talking about Star Wars Jedi Survivor, the game that moved release dates, and because it moved release dates, Dead Island 2 then moved its release date just to avoid being cannibalized once again by Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Today is March the 20th, which means we are just over a month away from the release date of April 28th for Survivor, and today is a very special day. We got a new story trailer, and I did not watch it all the way through. I threw it up on my Twitter feed just so people could see it, but I did not watch it, so I thought we'd watch it here together. Let's go ahead and dive into it.
It's been a long 5 years.
Digging the music, good vibe.
We've tried to resist.
I would love to see more gruesome combat.
Fear and mistrust rule the galaxy.
God, it looks great.
Cal, look into the fire.
I'm looking at these environments.
Keep you company. But left unchecked, it will consume everything until there is only ash.
How could you let the galaxy fall to this unworthy machine of an empire?
Hope may feel beyond our grasp. But I think we finally
Oh, like little puzzle action, a little bit of puzzle. Just like before.
Imagine. No more looking over your shoulder.
A place that's worth fighting for, no matter the cost.
So it's got kind of like tethered combat. Did you guys see that? All right, we got the splash screen, the release date. Good look. All right, so that was very brief. There wasn't a ton to digest there. What I want to go back to are the environments. Where are they? They are right here. Like whenever this. So first and foremost, let's go back to this. All of this is great. It's a cutscene. This is obviously part of the actual gameplay. These environments are very intricate, and I love the stones here. I mean, when we're talking about good-looking environments, this is almost on that same level as like the early Forspoken gameplay, where it was really showing off what Unreal Engine 5 could put out. This is how that looks for me. Now, I don't think that this is actually in Unreal Engine 5, but as far as the look of the game itself goes, again, we'll have to see how it looks in action, like on the Xbox Series X, on the PlayStation 5, but wow. I mean, everything about the game visually is stunning. His character model, by the way, I love how they've definitely, obviously it's been a few years, but they've definitely added a bit of a chiseled look to him. I think I see some gray hair coming in here, a couple of things that are swinging off here. You've got the chiseled jawline with the 5 o'clock shadow, generally what I look like at about 5 o'clock on a Friday evening. But wow. I'm really loving the way this one's lining up. I do want to go back too to that to the combat. There was a little bit of combat, like a splash screen that showed, I think it's down here. So right there, so you've got some, it looks like, let's see, hold on, let's go back. Is that Cal? Okay, so this is like tethered combat. So this is going to be something that changes the gameplay up a bit. So if you look at what's going on here, you've got him looking off into the distance, you've got the guy talking right here. So you've got the blaster guy, then you've got Cal swinging the lightsaber. Now the same thing pops up here in a couple of seconds after this clip. So that comes out here, so you've got two different people that are, so I guess maybe you have a special ability where each one is kind of playing off of the other. That's a really interesting way to do it. Because it's obviously not co-op. This is a single-player game, which makes total sense. You wouldn't want necessarily a co-op Star Wars Jedi Survivor, because then it would be plural. You gotta have Jedi Survivors. You guys like that dad joke? Yeah. All right, so I mean, 1 minute and 47 seconds in total, and we're talking about the ESRB rating and the outro, so did not give you a ton to work with here. But what you do get to see are the return of some classic characters from the original game. which I gotta say, the cast from the OG game, very good. I loved the characters, and I think the visual look of the game. I mean, when Jedi Fallen Order came out on the last generation, it was one of the best looking games that I had played on that generation. It didn't run at its best whenever the game first came out because it was still getting later in that generation. The hardware was definitely getting pushed to its limits. Then the Xbox One X update dropped, and you got that 60 FPS with the 1080p. That's when I played it, and that's when it looked very, very good. I think that's when it also got added to Game Pass as well. But that's beside the point. If you haven't played Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, you need to go back and play that. That's your homework leading up to Star Wars Jedi Survivor, because that game kind of reset in my mind what a Star Wars video game could be. And that's something that not many games were able to do. I mean, if you think back in the day, growing up, I played like Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith on PlayStation 2 and Battlefront 2, like the original, not the one with all the microtransactions. And those kind of define for me what a Star Wars game could be. I guess you could also say like Episode 1 Racer that was re-released a couple of years ago on the Switch and came out on, I think, PlayStation 4 as well. But then you had the Battlefront games that came out that were good. 2 had some issues with the microtransactions. But then Jedi Fallen Order built a new narrative. It wasn't going off of something that a TV show or a movie had laid out ahead of it. It was literally building its own world, telling its own story in the Star Wars universe, which is something that takes a lot of skill to pull off effectively, to the point that the hardcore fans of the game say, okay, this is Star Wars. It's not forced, it's just telling a different story within the universe that we love. And I love to see that. Overall, I could not be happier with the way that this game is shaping up. I think this is going to be potentially a Game of the Year contender. I mean, obviously, when it comes down to it, we all have to get our hands on it before we can really pass a final judgment on if the game plays well, on how the narrative shapes up the rest of Cal's story, or potentially this could even be the end of Cal's story. I'm pretty sure that they've said this is going to be some kind of trilogy, or at least that's the idea that they have in place. But moments like that are in the trailer, where you see the comedy of it, you see the drama of it. This is a game that is going to capture the drama of Star Wars again, and this just proves to me even more that it's got to be a day one pickup. I mean, I'm trying to save money here and there. I'm one of the 7 people not buying RE4 Remake on day one. I know. Yell in the comments at me, it's okay. But Star Wars Jedi Survivor definitely going to be a day one, because I can't not play this. It looks too good. I'd love to know what you think about this trailer down below, and is Star Wars Jedi Survivor going to be a day one pickup for you? Because we have a lot of games that are hitting that day one pickup status this year in particular. My wallet is going to be crying because we have RE4 Remake, which is going to be a day one pickup for a lot of people. We've got The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. We've got Diablo 4. Now we've got Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and that's just a handful of the biggest games that are coming to mind. There are plenty of indies, and right now as we speak, GDC is going on, giving us a look at what's coming. It's just a never-ending drip of new content, and we're not even talking about things like Redfall, the new Forza on the Xbox side of things. On the PlayStation side, we've got Spider-Man. This year is absolutely insane. They just keep on coming. But let me know what you think down below. I look forward to reading your thoughts, and you guys have a fantastic one. I'll catch you on the next one.